Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Yahweh, the member of Wise. So, I want to foremost start off by giving all honors and praises and glories to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Shah, Bahashim, Kakadash. Okay, double honors to Apostle GMS out there, okay, that are out there teaching the brothers out there that are willing to push his truth. Okay, and this video lesson is going to be about Judges, the book of Judges, and self-control. Okay, now the book of Judges. Okay, let me just go. Let me go to the book of Judges, chapter 2, verse 15. Right? No, verse 14. This is Judges 2, verse 14. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Okay, so we did evil in the land. We did evil. Shalakia. Judges 2, verse 11. Okay. So, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh and served Baalim. Okay, and then chapter 4, verse 14 says, and the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Okay, so the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh Bashim al-Shai. Okay, so we started doing other things, okay? And here is and this is how we did the evilness towards the Lord. If going to chapter 3, verse 6 and 7. Verse 6 says, and they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. Okay, now before I go back, I have to go back to chapter 2, verse 17, because I accidentally skipped one. But this is Judges 2, verse 17. No, verse 16. It says, nevertheless, Yahweh raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Most High, but they did not so. Okay, so the book of Judges is basically about how Yahweh judged the children of Israel based off the things that they did wrong. Okay, and it even tells you that the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh. Okay, which pissed Yahweh off so quickly that the Lord was like, y'all just do whatever y'all want to. I'm gonna give y'all unto the nations. Okay, and this is where Yahweh said that we would be given unto these nations. Going to chapter 3, it says, now these are the nations which Yahweh left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. Only the verse 3, it says, namely five lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hivitites, and the Hivitites that dwell in the Mount Lebanon, from the Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering in of Hamath. Okay, so those were the nations. Those were the five lords of those that that was going to be tested towards Israel, okay? And it says, and going back to verse 1, it says the nations Yahweh had left to prove Israel by them, okay? Because before, I'm going to find another scripture that says, let me see. Okay, verse 20, going back to Judges 2, verse 20, okay? It says, in the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he said, because that this people has transgressed my covenant which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice. Okay, now in the KJV Bible, it's reworded different. Well, it's not reworded different. If you have the new KJV, the new KJV Bible, then it's going to be reworded different. But it still talks about the same thing. Okay, so basically, the Lord put those nations in power over Israel because we went off. Okay, because we did evil in the sight of Yahweh. Okay, now I'm gonna get a preset real quick. I'm gonna get this preset. I'm in Judges. Okay, so Judges 2 verse 14 says, and the anger of Yahweh was hot against them, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Okay, this precept is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 32. Okay, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Okay, and when it says, and there shall be no might in thy hands, okay, there shall be no strength in your hands, man. Why? Because our enemies was over us. Because the Lord put the Lord put the nations and our enemies in power over us because of the wickedness that we did towards because of the wickedness that we did in the eyes of Yahweh Shemal Shah. Okay, all the wickedness, all the fornication, adultery, all that stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna get to self-control. Okay, now here's another thing that I realized, that when you're in this truth, you have to have self-control. Okay, now I'm gonna go to Galatians 5. Let me see. It might be 6. No, Galatians 5 verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. 23, it says, meekness, temperance, against such there is no law. Okay, so that means when you come in the Spirit, okay, the Spirit is all about love, joy, peace, long suffering. Okay, long suffering, going to that precept when 2 Corinthians, I think, when Paul, let me go to that. 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians, when Paul had said the sufferings of Yahweh Shai. Okay, 2 Corinthians 1 verse 5. For Shalakia. For as the sufferings of Yahweh Shai abound in us, so our consolation also aboundeth by Yahweh Shai. Which meaning that the sufferings that Yahweh Shai went through aboundeth in us. Okay, because like I said, when you form the body, okay, the man of the Lord forms the body, and who is the head? Yahweh Shemal Shai. Okay, meaning in that when you come into the Spirit, you're gonna go through hell. Okay, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna get harder and harder. That's why it says the sufferings of Yahweh Shai aboundeth in us, because of our consolations also aboundeth by Yahweh Shai. Okay, whether we be afflicted, it is for your consolation and salvation. Okay, Now, I'm going to go back to Galatians 5, verse, uh, 5, verse 25 real quick. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another. Okay, meaning in we're not supposed to hate one another. We're not supposed to talk down about one another. We're supposed to bring each other up. Okay, and going to Ephesians chapter 1 verse 17. 1 verse 17. It says that the Most High of Yahweh, that the Most High, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of Him, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of His calling, and what the riches of the glory of His inheritance in the saints. Okay, so if we walk in the Spirit, okay, we have to realize that the Lord gave us that spirit. Okay, so basically the Lord basically did not just wake you up and make you do wickedness, man. Okay, the Lord woke you up so you could do righteousness, and it's all about having self-control. Okay, and it's all about having self-control when you're in His truth. You have to balance yourself. Okay, you have to realize you have to be circumspect. You have to watch out for the things that you say and the things that you do, because these demons are always constantly coming at you, heavy and heavy. Okay. Let me get this other scripture. 1 John 4 verse 11. And the sufferings of Yahweh Shai. Yeah. 1 John. Nah. Yeah. 1 John. Yes. 1 John 4. 1 John 4 verse 11. Okay, because this all adds up to Judges. Why I said that the book of Judges was about Yahweh Shai judging the children of Israel based off the things that we did wicked. Okay, so as you know, the book of Judges basically talks about that the Lord put us through all of this because we did evil. So the Lord took the spirit away from us, and that's when the Lord gave us the spirit back to wake us up. And this is why. Okay. Verse 11, it says, Beloved, if the Most High so loved us, we ought to love one another. No man has seen the Most High at any time. If we love one another, the Most High dwell in us, and His love is perfected in us. Hereby now we dwell in Him, and He in us, because He hath given us of His Spirit. Okay, so going back to Judges, when it said that we did evil in the sight of the Lord, okay, and we lost our power, because the Lord put the nations and our enemies in power over us. Because why? Okay, because in Judges it says that book of Judges. It said that we shall not have no strength in our hands no more. Okay, going to Judges 2 verse 14. It said, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies, meaning that we lost our strength, we lost our power, we lost the ability to stand against our enemies because we did evil in the sight of the Lord. So you have to realize, when the Lord took that ability away from us, we got weakened. And then that's when the Lord was like, okay, since y'all learned, I'm going to wake y'all back up. So, the Lord woke us up. Because why? Because it says in 1 John 4 verse 13, by this we know that we abide in Him and He in us, because He has given us of His Spirit, man. Okay, so the Lord put His Spirit into us to wake us up in order to receive the truth and knowledge, in order for us to keep pushing. Okay, so it's all about having self-control. All right. I hope this video was edifying. Brothers out there, keep teaching, keep preaching. Don't give up on yourselves. Okay. Keep having faith. Don't give up at all. Love one another. Help one another, and make sure that you put on the whole armor of God at all times. And with that, shalom.